With Republicans, there is no end to how stubborn they could be, how obstructionist they could be, how right-wing they could be, and their fascination with Benghazi knows no bounds. So now Lindsay Graham, John McCain said, that's it, we're holding everybody up. Graham says none of the appointments get through unless he gets more information about Benghazi. Okay, now look, they wanted information from Hillary Clinton. She testified, they got it. They actually held up Senator Chuck Hagel from getting confirmed, former Republican senator, by the way, to getting confirmed for Secretary of Defense. They held up John Brennan from getting confirmed to the CIA. I wish they'd held that up longer. But it was all to get information from the White House about what the president was doing on the day of Benghazi. They got that information. They've gotten everything. Not enough, Benghazi. John McCain is now saying, that's it, I'm going to hold up Janet Yellen to be the head of the Federal Reserve. Okay, now the position of chairman of the Federal Reserve is fairly important to the markets, important to the world, and not something you just play politics with. But with Republicans, you play politics with everything over and over and over again. There's no end to it. And by the way, McCain and Graham were against shutting down the government. Now they're like, oh yeah, but we want to shut down this part and that part and your nomination to this and all the other nominations until we get more of what we want about Benghazi. They're endless, man. They're endless. They're so frustrating. Here's Lindsey Graham. Where are the Benghazi survivors? I'm going to block every appointment in the U.S. Senate until they're made available to Congress. I guarantee it to you, because we've already been through this a great number of times, that if you put the Benghazi survivors, who knows whether they want to testify, don't want to testify, you make them testify in front of the Congress, the next time there's a set of appointments, Lindsey Graham and John McCain will be back out there going, it's not enough. I want everybody in Benghazi to be in front of us in these hearings. It's never enough with the Republicans. Okay, so, and it's not like you shouldn't get answers about Benghazi. What happened was interesting. I said from day one I didn't believe the administration when they were saying that it was just a demonstration regarding that silly movie about Muhammad that somebody had made. I didn't believe them. I thought they were lying from the first place, right? But we've got all the information now. And some of the stuff is damning. Others isn't. You've got it. Apparently you can't do anything with it, but you don't want to let it go because of politics. And one of the reasons is because what they found out from the government shutdown is that Republicans who were the most right-wing, the most extreme, like Ted Cruz, their numbers spiked up among the within the Republican Party and among the base, okay? Now, Lindsey Graham, his numbers went in the opposite direction. He was not in favor of the government shutdown. I mean, he voted along with it, of course, but he didn't speak kindly of it. His numbers went down among Republicans, and now it looks like he might lose a primary race in South Carolina for a Senate seat. So what's he doing? He's like, well, I could be more obstructionist than Ted Cruz. I could be dumber than any of them. I could be more extreme than anybody. Trust me. I'm Republican through and through. No logic whatsoever. So now this is not the only issue. Now there's the D.C. Circuit that is, it's the Circuit Court of Appeals. It's actually the second most important court in the country because that's where a lot of the federal issues go, right? And it's missing 3 justices. There's supposed to be 11 on there, always 11 on there. Now there's 8 because the Republicans keep blocking the 3 appointments that President Obama has to fill those seats. And now the Republicans say, no. We're never going to let you fill those seats. So listen to John Cornyn's talking points here. The last thing we need to do when money is tight is throw more money at unneeded judges on this court in an attempt to simply pack the court in order to tilt that court ideologically in a way that favors big government agenda of the Obama administration. You see all those talking points in there? Let me break it down for you, okay? So number one, it's not packing the court when you fill vacant seats. Like, for example, the Supreme Court has 9 seats. When somebody retires and you nominate somebody for that seat, you're not packing the court. Now, FDR, who was a Democrat, by the way, who was a progressive hero, did try to pack the courts, and that was wrong. There's 9 people on the Supreme Court. He tried to add people to the Supreme Court and make them all liberals so they would push forward his agenda. In this case, there's already 11 seats. You won't let them fill it, and they know it. They acknowledge it, but they don't care. They don't believe in the reality-based world. They don't live in it. They don't believe in it. So they're like, nope, you're packing the court. To acknowledge that as nobody should ever debate that. And no press should ever report this so-called packing the court talking point without saying, well, you have to be clear on this. That's a lie. The Republicans are trying to mislead the American people. Nobody's packing the court. You would be unpacking it if you got rid of 3 seats. Okay, and then, oh yeah, it's very expensive. All of a sudden, 3 judges are super expensive. They're really concerned about the budget. Really, if you were that concerned, why did George W. Bush run up $1.2 trillion deficit, hand it off to President Obama? Why did you do that $1 trillion war in Iraq that we didn't need? Why did you give trillions of dollars in tax cuts to the rich that we didn't need? You don't give a damn about that. Now you're worried about 3 judges? Please. The nonsense about how you're worried about the money, okay? And big government agenda. John Cornyn is a guy who loves the NSA spying. He loves big government. Now all of a sudden 3 extra judges, too much big government. So now Talking Points Amendment clearly explains a second reason why they're doing this. The D.C. Circuit is the GOP's silent weapon against Obama's use of executive authority to achieve progressive goals where Congress won't act. The conservative-leaning court has invalidated multiple actions by the Obama administration on issues like environmental protection, labor regulation, and recess appointments. In other words, not only will we just block everything Obama does, because the more extreme we are, the more we're rewarded by our base, but second of all, we already have conservatives on there because the Democrats were silly enough to confirm Bush's appointments. Silly them. Doing their job, idiots, right? Here, we're going to block them all, so the Democrats, when they're in charge, can't put judges on there. So and then we'll have our conservative judges say, ha ha, none of your environmental regulation. No way, man. We're going to let our polluter friends keep polluting your rivers, your lakes, your air, everything. That poison goes into your family, your kids. Who cares? Our donors made more money. That's what the Republican Party's about. But I'll tell you what, if their base keeps driving them further right and further extreme, and it appears that from the government shutdown, not only did they learn no lesson in the right direction, they learned the opposite lesson, that you got to run further to your pace, further to the extreme. If they keep doing this, they're not going to win general elections. Yes, you'll win your primaries, etc. John Cornyn, by the way, this monstrous conservative John Cornyn from Texas, they're talking about a primary against him from the right. That's why they're going further and further right. That's why it appears they've learned no lesson. But look, even in places like South Carolina and Texas, at some point, even independents there and maybe even some conservative voters go, hey, you know what? That man is literally just stepped out of an insane asylum. Do I still give him my vote? Yeah, maybe I should vote for the sane guy. Maybe.